Well, good morning internets. Here we are. Just out and about on another one of them outing vlogs. Thought I would take you along with us, and away we go. And welcome to our vlog. Well, as you see, we got the big box orange store in the background. Just finished walking through there. I needed to pick up a couple of those mattress bags that you put a bed in for storage. I got a double bed that I want to put in for storage. I don't know if I'm going to need it in the future or not, but at the same time, if I were to toss it and need it, they are kind of expensive to rebuy, especially when you already own it, especially when it's a clean bed, especially when it really hasn't been used much from the time you bought it until now, and it's almost a new bed as it is. So it's worth a little extra effort to preserve it and keep it a little while longer. The bed that I have in my room where I live, sort of, was bought new in 2019, so it's got like 5 years on it, and it's starting to show a little bit of its age, getting a little bit uncomfortable. So in a roundabout way, if I don't use this double bed in the future, I might swap it out with the bed that I have in my room, because, well, I can, right? Well, the flyers recently dropped, and in the flyers there's a couple of tools that I want. We're gonna head over to the big box Canadian store and pick up a couple of sawhorses if they have them in stock. I had a set of these sawhorses back in 2018. They got a great weight rating on them, and you can even put a couple of 2x4s in the little side pockets and make like a workbench. And the sawhorses that I've currently been using for like the since last summer there, I bought off Marketplace for like $5, and they look like 20-year-old wooden sawhorses that are kind of decrepit and falling apart. So given my table saw is a little heavy and I don't want it to jump off those old wooden sawhorses while I'm using it, or something else I'm building to fall off it, then it is kind of makes sense to buy the better sturdy new ones. I had thought about building a couple sets of the new wooden ones in the new style, but sometimes it's just easier to buy replacements than it is to waste time kind of fiddling around and building and stuff, especially when you're not necessarily on a time crunch, but at the same time working in a allotted amount of time that you have to work with. And then we're gonna go over to another couple of stops after that to pick up another couple of tools. So far I'm doing okay. I'm starting to feel a little bit of the day already. I still have more to do at the other end, but we will pace ourselves. Might have to take a break in the middle, maybe end up having a nap, regroup, and then well, try again in a few hours. But again, we will cross that when we get there. So let's get over to the big box Canadian store and see if they have the sawhorses we are looking for. Well, hello internets, here we are. Just finished going through the Princess Auto store. They had a router for sale in their flyer, on sale for like $62. In the past, it wouldn't have been something that I would have bought. However, it is a budget-friendly tool for my budget that needs all the friendliness that it can get. In the past, I would have paid $150 for one, or I would have paid $300 for one. I used to have a router, a really good router that I bought once, cried once, took care of it. Just like the rest of my tools, in my mind, it was going to be tools to have for, 15, 20 years kind of a thing. And unfortunately, when everything changed, a lot of those tools disappeared. They had to go. Including, my table saw, my good sliding dual beveled, whatever kind of fancy saw that was, and thousands of dollars in tools a person liquidates for pennies on the dollar, and then a few years later kind of rebuys them to do other projects with. This router, I really only need it for this season anyway, for 3 or 4 cuts or uses, and then in another couple of seasons I'll need it again for another handful of cuts. So I really don't think the expensive router really would have been more beneficial than this by far anyway. The collet size, like the shaft size, is pretty standard, and everything else is pretty standard. The motor size is pretty on par with the rest, and the only difference is it's not orange, or it's not yellow or red kind of a deal. So I guess time will tell on what kind of choice this was. There is no fancy little case with it or bag that I can tell, but that can be remedied on the next sale kind of a deal. Well, starting to feel a little bit rough here, like I've overdone it, which I probably have. I need a jug of water, then probably gonna hit her on home, so we'll probably see y'all from the other end. Well, hello internet, here we are. Full disclosure, this is the next morning, because, well, when I came home from the outing, I was pretty wrecked. So, well, here we are. Well, had a fairly decent day yesterday. Got all my running around now complete and done. I was doing okay until the Princess Auto store and having to wander around to find the router. They've recently, probably in the last year or so, did complete renovations and really changed the layout of the store. And ever since the layout change, it's not as organized as it once was. One time they used to have sections for like pneumatic tools, sections for like electric tools, sections for like hand tools and stuff, and those basic sections in this new layout are there, but the router should have been where the other routers were and other electric tools were, but instead it was hidden on an end cap kind of around your ankles on a row that the person told me that it wouldn't have been on. I almost gave up and went and bought the $150 one, which really probably would still be the better idea to do, because then, well, it would match the rest of my tools, and you're buying a little better quality kinda-ish. But at the same time, well, I'm not planning to use it a lot. My woodworking shop is closed. My 3 or 4 cuts, if you want to call them that I want to make this season, you can justify for a $60 router versus a $150 one, right? Well, when I was done, I grabbed my jug of water and came back here. I was feeling pretty sore and pretty rough. I ended up stretching out and crashing for a few hours and waking up to a nasty like allergy or asthma or some type of attack. It's been a long time since I had one of those, but at the same time, you know, they kind of do happen, and yeah, I've got my routine that I do when I get one, and it always has passed within a reasonable amount of time without very much casualties, if you want to call it that, other than what my normal routine has developed into being. After that, I was feeling even rougher because, well, you know, oxygen deprived, sore, tired, like fatigued, dealing with my knee and hip, ankle, stuff like that. And I ended up crashing again for a few more hours. I've been up for a little bit, just waiting for it to warm up again before I start another day. Now that my running around is all done, I can, maybe start the preparations for the beginning of the project now. Whatever it's been there 3 weeks ago, I rented a sea can, and I haven't even laid eyes on it yet. I am pretty sure it exists, I'm pretty sure it's there. But really, I should go secure it to make sure that it's what I expect it to be before I end up paying, you know, a month's worth of rent in total for something that is totally unacceptable. Right now, it's been empty since the day I got it because I had crashed, ended up getting sick right after renting it, kind of a deal. So probably in the next few days we'll be starting the project, and I'm not 100% sure how to film it. Do I film it in the style of one of my Maxwell's World videos, or do I film it both as a Maxwell's World video and a vlog? I think, without getting too redundant, a little bit vlog type entry would be okay, and then the Maxwell's World video series that'll stretch over the next 3, 4, 5 years, kind of a thing, will probably be how it unfolds. But thanks for coming along on this vlog for the day. It was what it was, and it will be what it is, and around we go. And as always, thanks for watching, comment, subscribe, and enjoy.